Now with all 24 heats completed, we head into the second chance heats. First up, it's the juniors. Let's take you through their starting grid. On pole position, it will be Cameron Nelson. Joining him representing the UAE on the front row, Zain El Homosani. Then Kasper Nissen and India's Ariman Bansal will be on row 2. Tomas Rudokas from Lithuania, and from the UK, Oliver Majewski will round out row 3. It's Denmark and the United Kingdom on row number 4 with Sinjapes Ornbol and Henry Cameron rounding out the top 8. Trinidad and Tobago's Naomi Garcia will be joined by Estonia's Carl Christian Tokru rounding out the top 10. Jacob Woods, Christian Stefanov and Germany's Julian Kovacevic will round out the 13-strong grid. Of course, with not being able to compete due to no medical clearance, Kovacevic will not be taking part in this race. Once again, it will be 7 minutes plus an additional lap. We will have another second chance heat coming up next, which will be senior Rotax at 11:20, as the drivers go on to their official formation lap of 7 minutes plus 1 lap of racing. Top 6 will then proceed through to the final stages of not only this weekend, but also the championship season. And after which we will have to say goodbye to 7 of the 13 drivers in this second chance heat. So the drivers now slowed to a crawl as they go through Bobby Game Corner and approach the Mike Wilson complex. 6 drivers will progress. The other 7, their weekends will come to an end at this point in the weekend. So the red lights are on the starting gantry. 7 minutes plus 1 lap of racing in the Junior Rotax second chance heat. The drivers now start to slowly make their way through the final corner. They split. They head into the tram lines. Revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights are out. We're off and racing. Good starts by the front row as Zain El Homosani slots in behind Cameron Nelson as they go through the Bruno Ferrari S's for the first time. Side by side through Ariman Bansal and Kasper Nissen going up the hill. The Indian staying ahead of the Dane, but Oliver Majewski from KR Sport trying to get his way up into 4th position. Very, very early indeed, looking for a move up the inside through into the Litchfield Bridge, but now looks for the first hairpin, makes the move stick, and the youngster in the 236 makes it up to 4th place. Zain El Homosani trying to defend from Ariman Bansal from India. And that is for 2nd position. Zain El Homosani, the younger of the 2 Yas Heat Racing Academy drivers here and have been with us for the entire season, joined by Zach Scowler, who runs in seniors. And Zain has also been competing as part of the FIA Academy Trophy this year. As the drivers make their way up through Uncle Tyrone's banking on lap number 2. Cameron Nelson, no surprise, running in clean air, has the fastest lap of the race, 59.517. Zain El Homosani now down into 3rd place. Ariman Bansal looks to have made the move for 2nd position through the Bruno Ferrari S's as they go through the first of the 2 infield hairpins. And there is Oliver Majewski up through on Zain El Homosani. Top 6 do go through. El Homosani gets through on Majewski, and does Kasper Nissen? No, he does not. Tomas Rudokas, the youngster from Lithuania, who competing in the Rotax Nordic, Rotax Latvia and Lithuania, he's now running as a DD2 driver. So he has also made a forward leap like Enzo Bol and Tom Bracken have done this year, along with Maxim Shurko, who has also been competing in the Euro Trophy this season. Oh, bit of a moment there through the banking. That was Zain El Homosani, as we've got a 3-cart incident on the inside of the banking. Yellow flags out underneath the bridge. All 3 drivers seem to be okay. Both getting out, all carts intermingling with each other. As now there's going to be a change for the race lead. Cameron Nelson loses the lead to Bansal, and now there is Majewski trying to get through for second at the Fullerton S's. Oh, he gets a little bit of a tap from behind, courtesy of Kasper Nissen. Zain El Homosani and Thomas Rudorkas round out the top 6. And the gap between the top 6 after 2 laps was 1.9 seconds. This is going to be the top 7, and they're a lot closer together than that. 3 minutes down, 4 to go. Top 7 covered by 1.3 seconds. As the leaders make their way through. Oh, mistake there from Oliver Majewski. Could that give the opportunity to Kasper Nissen for third place into turn 3? Not quite. And now Thomas Rudorkas is out of the top 6. Sinjepes Ornbon from RS Competition now battling away with Zain El Homosani for 5th place. So Ornbon is in the danger zone. Now he's out of it. Rudorkas takes his place through the second hairpin. Hairpin goes back up into P6. That's given El Homosani a little bit of breathing room. For those that don't know, Zain El Homosani is also proud of his Egyptian heritage as well. But Mum, Dad, who are also here. Hello, Mohammed. Hello, Jermaine. I know you're watching from the sidelines just off of the start-finish straight. We come down to the final 3 minutes of the second chance heat, and the top 6 rounded out by Thomas Rudorkas from Lithuania is just under 2 seconds. On-ball threads the eye of the needle up the inside through the banking at Uncle Tyrone's. He gets through. Majewski now. Oh, well, hip check there, I think. Cameron Nelson went high, wide and handsome. Not of his own making, possibly. Coming out of turn 4, Majewski decided to send it. Nelson had to react. At least the cat-like reflexes were there for the 241, who now does lose second and could lose third. Well, Kasper Nissen decides discretion is the better part of valour, going into the approach into the Fullerton S's as the Dane from RS Competition remains in 4th for the minute. But Majewski starting to defend. This is going to give Raymond Bansal the opportunity to pull away into the distance, which the youngster from India has already done. The 251 now up the road. Gap between first and second last time was nearly half a second. Now it's more than double. 1.2 seconds is the lead between Raymond Bansal and Oliver Majewski. Nelson, Nissen, El Homosani and Ornbon round out the top 6. Rudorkas is about 3/10 away from the Dane in the 277. Jacob Woods, Christian Stefanov and Karl Christian Tukru round out the top 10. Kovacevic, Cameron and, Henry Cameron is away and across the line. I would imagine that Naomi Garcia will be crossing the line very shortly. But Julian Kovacevic's weekend ended on lap 2 with the 3-cart incident going up the hill off of Uncle Tyrone's banking. So the youngster from Germany, based out of Hanover, if I remember correctly, in the 264. That's a real shame for him. But that just goes to show how cutthroat karting can be when you're one of the competitors out on the circuit. Coming down to 3 laps remaining in the second chance heat. We're on to now lap number 7 with just around a minute to go, plus an additional lap. Raymond Bansal now has nearly a 1.4 second lead over Oliver Majewski. Cameron Nelson still holding station in third. Kasper Nissen trying to put the frighteners on the 241 from Dan Holland Racing. Zain El Homosani still residing in 5th. And also Sinjepes Ornbon in 6th. Now, where the top 6 finish, oh, bit of a lunge, oh, dearie me. Now, who on earth was that? That was Jacob Woods. Got a bit too late on the brakes and just went straight on. Might have just clipped the front fairing of Sinjepes Ornbon, and that has allowed Thomas Rudorkas to have a biggest get-out-of-jail-free card I've seen this season, being in a second chance heat. So 2 more laps remain. Rudorkas right on the back bumper of Zain El Homosani. As what we will have is that where the top 6 finish is where they place on the final 6 spots of the top 36 for the pre-final. The junior pre-final will take place at 12:40 here today as Rudorkas now gets 5th. now gets fifth. El Homosani has now got the biggest question, the biggest quandary to answer. Do I attack? Do I defend? He is basically like between. He's like a rock in a hard place. He's got to make that decision. Timer has expired. El Homosani, I think, has one option, and one option alone: defend. Defend, make that the back of that Yaz Heat Racing Academy kart as wide as possible for the next 1,400 metres. Last lap borders are out. And Ayman Bansal nearly 1.5 seconds up the road from Cameron Nelson, who's now ahead of Oliver Majewski, Kasper Nissen, Thomas Rudokas. Zain El Homosani has managed to pull some daylight between himself and Sinjepes Ornbol in the battle for 6th position. Down to the first infield hairpin for the final time. Change for second. Majewski down the inside of Nelson. And it's line astern between 5th, 6th and 7th. Majewski goes for it again. Hairpin number 2 makes the move stick. Nelson down to 3rd. Nelson again sweeps to the outside of the Fullerton Essies. He's going to thread the eye of the needle. They both run wide. Majewski off the track. Kasper Nissen gets 2nd. Going through into Bobby Game corner, and that's allowed Thomas Rudokas, Zain El Homosani and Sinjepes Ornbol to close, but out of the final corner, the winner of the Junior Rotax. 2nd chance heat. Well done to India's Ayman Bansal, who got into the lead and never looked back, winning by nearly 2.7 seconds. Kasper Nissen from Denmark, the 2.22, takes 2nd ahead of Cameron Nelson, Oliver Majewski, Thomas Rudokas, and the UAE's Zain El Homosani provisionally at this time make their way into the top 36 and the pre-final. Sinjepes Ornbol in 7th, Carl Christian Tukru, Christian Stefanov, Jacob Woods, Henry Cameron, and we are just waiting for our final finisher. Well done and great effort by Trinidad and Tobago's Naomi Garcia in the 2.39, who crosses the stripe and ends up 12th as Julian Kovacevic eliminated after the 3-kart accident off of Uncle Tyrone's banking on lap number 2, with Kovacevic not able to compete here this weekend.